College football has been a sport best known for its ability to withstand change throughout the years. With the NCAA regulations with NIL deals and conference expansions, there has been many things that have changed. And some of the most popular teams are relocating conferences. In an era of collegiate athletes now being able to profit off their name and image, many have conflicted thoughts on whether this new action will benefit the sport. And for Dr. Harrison, it's a no-brainer.
It makes me nervous. It makes me nervous because high school is now the new college, where people are going to be tested as to whether or not they go to the next level, and it's opened up Pandora's box or a can of worms and you can't go back from here. You can't just be like, well, we're going to pay players and now we're not going to pay players. This is not going to work. So this is the new way that it is, and I just don't know what the end result's going to be. It makes me nervous.
In the midst of the college playoff field being expanded from 4 to 12 teams, fans everywhere have rejoiced about the parity this ruling presents, and Dr. Harrison feels the same.
I like it. I think that I don't like 12. I think that there should be maybe 8. 4 leaves too many teams out. 12 brings too many teams in. I think 8's the magic number.
With 2 West Coast superpowers in USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten in the coming years, it has been a point of debate on how this new transition will affect the Big Ten and their subsequent teams, such as Dr. Harrison's Indiana Hoosiers.
Well, as an Indiana Hoosier football fan, that's not good. Because guess what? That's just 2 more losses we're going to suffer every time. So that being said, it's very odd. Growing up, the Big Ten always played the Pac-12 or the Pac-10. It used to be the Pac-10 in the Rose Bowl. And so my whole life, I always looked forward to the Big Ten playing against the Pac-10. And now they're coming over here and there's these weird conferences, and Dr. Pepper has that commercial where the guy's got the map up there and he's like, this guy's over here and this guy's over here. Who knows where everybody is, and it's maddening.
With college football gearing towards a future without the need for a regional conference instead of opting for nationwide super conferences, Dr. Harrison confesses that he is skeptic on what this means for college football as a whole.
Well, I think it's inevitable. I don't like it because every conference has its own sort of identity, but as much as I hate to admit it, the SEC is so much better in football than everybody else. It would almost be better if it was the SEC and everybody else, in football at least.
With Big 12 powerhouses Texas and Oklahoma making the switch to the SEC, Dr. Harrison gives his thoughts into whether this move will prove beneficial for the parties involved.
I think Texas and Oklahoma made the absolute right move. They made the move to the proper conference, and those schools used to be absolute powerhouses, and they've fallen on some hard times, but it's the right move because with all that oil money down there in Texas, there's going to be some rich young men.
With NIL deals now coming into factor on athletes' decisions whether or not to stay in college another year or enter the draft, Dr. Harrison believes that the opportunity to make more money while still in college will prove to make athletes more reluctant to enter the draft early.
Oh, absolutely. I think specifically as an IU fan of Trace Jackson Davis. Trace Jackson Davis could have gone to the NBA, but if he had gone to the NBA, he would have probably been picked late in the first round or maybe early in the second round, and he has a chance to be a first-team All-American, National Player of the Year, and he's already a millionaire, so why wouldn't he come back for one more year? And if you're a football player, God, if you knew you were going to get picked on a team that just totally stinks, you might die.
Amidst all of the conference expansions changes taking place, Dr. Harrison speculates whether these moves will prove to make college football more competitive.
Sadly, I think it's because of the people that have the money that are going to make contributions. There's only going to be like 8 good teams. There already are only 8 teams that can actually win the national championship every single year. And then everybody else just is not even in that same class. Like whoever wins the Ohio State-Michigan game, they're going to go to the Final Four. And it feels like parity is going away. There's going to be just 8 teams, and those are the ones that are going to go to the Final 8 every year. And I don't like that, especially since my team sucks.